Hello, we are here for our next part of our math lesson. And so this is actually 7.1, but it's day 2 of 7.1. Trying to do this whole lesson would have been a really kind of a larger lesson, and just trying to break this down since this is our last unit. And these are a lot of brand new ideas, just kind of breaking it down into 2 parts. But we're going to start by just reading our goal together at I can use. Ready? I can use, describe, and compare. So I just want to break down the first kind of part of it. So just we're going to be comparing. So we're going to be finding similarities and differences. And we're just going to be using and describing customary units. And customary means regular or normal. And unit is a way to measure something of liquid volume. And that really is how much space something takes up. And so we're going to be looking at liquid volume. In the units for liquid volume, we're going to be talking again about like pints, cups, fluid ounces, gallons, quarts, all those things that we were working on with yesterday. Now, I want to start by just opening it up to this, just like what we did yesterday, talking about cups, pints, quarts, a half gallon, a gallon. The only part we don't have on here are those fluid ounces. And a fluid ounce, when you write fluid ounce, it looks like this. Or you can do just OZ for short for ounce when you have ounces. But we know that a cup is the smallest amount. A pint would come next, then a quart, a half gallon, then a gallon. And you can also compare those different amounts together, just to kind of show how many we have of a certain kind. So like if you have 2 cups, that equals 1 pint. If you have 4 cups, it equals a quart. 8 cups equals a half gallon. 16 cups equals 1 gallon. So basically I could take 16 of these to fill up just 1 gallon. Or I could take 2 of these pints to fill a quart. Or I could take 4 of these pints to equal half a gallon. Or 8 of these to equal 1 gallon. Or if I wanted to take the quarts, I could take 2 of these to fill a half gallon. Or 4 of these to fill 1 gallon. Or I could just take 2 half gallons to fill up 1 gallon. Then just kind of thinking more about so what do those actual different sizes mean? Well, a cup is kind of like a can of soup, or that can really be like anything that would fit like in a normal size can. Not like the really big ones. Like if you go to grocery store, there's like sometimes larger ones, but these ones are more of like the smaller size, like the regular size normal ones. But I also like to think I was in the last lesson I was comparing it to like a tea cup. Or like a smaller glass for like water or juice or something. A large container of yogurt is about 1 pint. If you have any glasses at home, like the kind of the taller ones, that also is about a pint. A medium-sized container of orange juice holds about 1 quart. And that's usually what orange juice comes in. They either come in a quart or a half gallon, and that's like a good example of what a half gallon is there. But usually half gallons come in those waxy paper kind of containers that could be there like for any kind of like a juice, like sometimes milk or like almond milk or oat milk or soy milk or rice milk or any of those kinds of things too. And then the largest one is a gallon. So you can get like big gallons of liquid like that, or like a can of paint would also be a gallon. Now the first sheet that we're going to be looking at today just to talk about this is page 439. We're going to be doing page 439 and page 440 today. So if you haven't pulled those off of Schoology and sent them to Notability, you can do that now. But I'm just going to read through this here. Then you'll solve these problems, then we'll come back. So the orange up top says, use drawings to solve problems. Use the drawing to represent and solve the problem. Okay, so we're going to be using this drawing over here. A painter mixes 5 pints of yellow and 3 pints of blue paint to make green paint. How many pints of green paint does he make? So if you look over here, there's actually a little scale. Right here it says 1 pint. The whole thing is a gallon, if you take this whole gallon of paint, but right there, each of those little tiny lines would equal 1 pint. So if it says there's 5 pints of yellow, the way I would think about it is like this. Okay, so 5 pints of yellow. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it was 3 pints of blue. So then I could just do 1, 2, 3. And then I could figure out, so how many pints of green paint does this painter make all together? So then all I'm going to need is I just use that picture right over there. I'm going to make sure I'm going to draw the lines in, and then I'm going to do my equation with it too. So it's 5 yellow plus 3 blue equals how many pints of green. So that's what you're going to be doing for each of these. But I'm just going to read through each of them, then you're going to do it. So you make sure you use a picture, do those same lines that I did for like that first one. Then you're also going to do your equation for each of these. Ryan has a bottle of orange juice with 16 fluid ounces. He pours 6 fluid ounces in a cup. How many fluid ounces are left in the bottle? So you have to figure out what's the operation. Also make sure to add in your pictures over here, like your lines. 16. A restaurant, I really should be doing my underlining. What am I doing? A restaurant makes 8 quarts of tea. They use all the tea to fill pitchers that hold 2 quarts each. How many pitchers are filled with tea? So they have 8 quarts altogether, and they use it all to fill pitchers, and you can put 2 quarts in each. So they have 8 total. They can put 2 in each. So I have to figure out. Now it does say each. So clue is multiplication or division. But I'm going to have to check that. Okay, so I'm going to use my picture to help too, and I can draw another picture that may help me even more than that one. If it's multiplication or division, I could even do circles. But how many circles do I have to do? Then 17. An ice cream machine makes 5 pints of ice cream in a batch. If 3 batches are made, how many pints of ice cream are made? Okay, so 5 pints are made in a batch. They make 3 batches. How many is that? I got to think. Is that addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Then the last one, number 18. Frank has a water jug that holds 24 quarts of water. She fills it with a container that holds 4 quarts. How many times must she fill the 4-quart container and pour it into the jug to fill with 24 quarts? So she has a big water jug that holds 24 quarts of water, but she's trying to fill it with a smaller container that holds 4 quarts. So how many of those 4 quarts will she have to put in? Again, you're going to think, is it addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? All right, you can come back and check your thinking after.